Let me tell you something real. April 2025 absolutely wrecked me. My revenue tanked, I had lost a big contract, and physically I was not feeling well. I literally had pains in my chest and I was really short of breath quite a lot, so much so it nearly felt like a panic attack, but it wasn't. I blamed it on stress. I was trying to sell my horse. My daughter was doing exams, her final exams in university. Loads of stuff going on family wise, business wise. And I just thought, you know what, maybe it's a blend of hormones and stress, as you do. But then I thought, okay, it's not relenting. I need to go to the doctor. Took a couple of weeks to get to the doctor, and all that time I was still feeling the physical pains in my chest and getting shortness of breath. Went to the doctor scared the life out of me because I left with an emergency referral for a heart screening. She was like, don't panic. I'm going to send you for a heart screening today or tomorrow. That's when it'll be. I'd literally rocked up to the GP surgery in my horse riding gear because I had the appointment in the middle of the day. I think it was a Thursday, and I had literally planned the appointment a couple of weeks ahead because I couldn't get in quickly. And so I blocked off my calendar so I could go horse riding afterwards. And she was like, no, don't go do any strenuous physical activities. Go home, rest. And I was like, oh, okay, crap. I had actually planned go horse riding, come home, get a shower, record some podcast episodes. So here we are recording the podcast episodes now. But it turns out when they screened me, what they found out was I have a leaky heart valve. Not dangerous, at least not yet, but it was a jolt I wasn't ready for. One of the symptoms of a leaky heart valve is shortness of breath. Oh, and another thing they figured is that I have long COVID. I'm like, what? Really? So, yes, my energy was off in April. I wasn't feeling well. I had this leaky heart valve thing I didn't even know I had. I had long COVID. I didn't even know I had. So it was no wonder I was struggling a bit through the month, right? And it affected me, it affected my family and the people close to me because they needed me and my clients needed me, my team needed me, I needed me, but I couldn't think straight. I really couldn't, let alone lead. So I pressed pause as much as I possibly could. I looked at my business, I tore some of it apart and I put it back together. I reworked some offers, I realigned some messaging, and I asked my contractors if they could help a bit more so I could focus on what actually matters: strategy, creation, connection. And since then, everything has started to shift. And that's why I'm here today. I wanted to share this with you because your clients need you to lead, even when the world feels unstable and like the ground is moving underneath your feet, especially then. And I want to give you the tool that I use to get my brain back, and it's called the DOS framework: dangers, opportunities, and strengths. It's a game changer when the noise is really loud out there and the path forward feels foggy. I'm Deirdre Martin, triple certified, award-winning international best-selling author. I help entrepreneurs like you make their first 100K or their first million in business without sacrificing your health for your wealth. Let's frickin' go. We are not in predictable times right now. There's global conflict. There's political fueled tension. AI is advancing faster than most people can grasp. And even big brands like Marks and Spencer's and long-standing retail in Ireland and the UK, they got hacked. There was employee data leaked, customer data leaked. There were 5 weeks where they couldn't trade online, so customers are spooked, and trust has definitely been impacted. But you know what sinks companies? It's not change, it's complacency. Look at Kodak. Do you remember them, the camera brand? They invented digital photography and buried it to protect film sales. Like, seriously, they came up with digital cameras, but they buried it because they wanted to sell. You remember those little films? Blockbuster. Blockbuster laughed Netflix out of the room twice. Netflix wanted to buy Blockbuster, and twice Blockbuster laughed them out of the room. True story. Nokia, oh my God, what was it, like a 6210, a 2510, 3210? I can't remember all the things, but yeah, I had several Nokia phones. I used to play Snake all the time. If you don't know what a Nokia phone is, then this podcast might not be for you. But Nokia phones, they dominated the market, right? And as I understand it, I think Nokia were the first to actually create a smartphone, but they were too slow to bring it to the market. And then they got left behind, and they have literally stopped innovating pretty much ever since. They ignored the dangers, they missed the opportunities, and they forgot their strengths, all three of those companies. And it cost them everything. Uncertainty didn't kill them, a lack of awareness did. So if you're a coach, a consultant, or a service provider, this is your moment, not to panic, but to think about pivoting, to think clearly while others are freezing. And for you, it's really about that strategic clarity. So if you're feeling fearful, just know that fear isn't a stop sign, it's a signal. And if you follow it to the blind spot you've been ignoring, you could be very surprised with what it might show you. So here's the tool that I use to rebuild myself, my business after my April spiral, if you want to call it that. And the framework is called the DOS framework. So picture this, a triangle, and you've got opportunities, dangers, strengths, and then you've got a gap. Okay. So let's dive into each of these. So dangers, in terms of dangers, it's thinking about maybe what needs to be eliminated. So think threats, risk, chronic issues you've been tolerating, and it could be manual things that could be automated, could be a danger. It's not just the big scary stuff, like subtle dangers count too. Or another example might be a pipeline that depends entirely on referrals. Oh, there's a lot of you listening who I'll bet fall into that category. A lot of my clients come to me because that's how they've been before. Or maybe a high ticket offer that's built around exclusively around your time. Or maybe a market shift, like AI replacing parts of the service that you provide, and you're just hoping that it'll blow over, but hope is not a strategy. So these dangers, they're not always like loud. They're not always ones that you see on the news, but all of them together, they compound. And April showed me my danger was overfunctioning, not paying enough attention to my health, being too tired and being too involved, and then being too silent about the whole freaking lot. Okay. Now, I was saying to my team on our Monday meetings, I'm just not feeling great. I'm feeling meh. I was having coaching sessions with my coaches, and I'm like, I'm feeling meh. I'm getting worried about cash flow. This is a danger. The danger was real. And the real danger, it isn't about losing money. It's about pretending you're fine when you're not. Okay. So I was like, I'm not fine. And I knew I wasn't fine. And I was telling people that. I was like voice noting my business bestie going, I'm having a crap April. And she was like, so am I. I'm like, oh, that does actually make me feel a bit better. But oh crap, are you okay? You know, and like there was loads going on that wasn't good. And anyway, you know, the danger really at the bottom and at the end of the day, the danger really is the damage that can happen when you look at the relationships around you if you're not careful with the dangers in your business, because your business and your financial health and well-being and your personal health and well-being affects your relationships too. So that's a danger. So just look at yourself really like from a step back and look at what are the dangers for you. But everywhere there's a danger, there's something that's newly available. It's an opportunity. So what new available opportunity is there for you that you haven't thought of before, that you haven't looked at before? Because this is where it gets really exciting if you're willing to look. And opportunities often come disguised as messes. So maybe AI feels scary, but it's also it's also a way to make your thought leadership more valuable, because human to human clarity now stands out more than ever before. A client loss might free up time to develop a better offer, or to a global shift might open new pain points that you can solve before the rest of the market catches up. And most people don't miss opportunities because they're not smart. They miss them because they're staring at danger and trying not to drown. You can't spot an opportunity if you're drowning and you're trying to hold your breath. You need to step back. You need to get curious, zoom out, ask, what is possible now that wasn't 6 months ago? What will be possible in the next 6 months? And it's really leaning into that. So then strengths. Strengths is about looking at what's already working. What am I shit hot at that I can lean into? And this one is massively overlooked. So let me give you a metaphor, courtesy of one of my amazing clients. And she helped me really see this in a way, because this is part of what she does. And I'm like, oh, I so love this. I'm totally going to use it. So here it goes, right? Imagine a teenager studying for exams. They're weak in maths, so you get them grinds, you get them a tutor. Makes total sense. I mean, I've done this with my kids. But let's say my daughter, she's brilliant at, okay? But I'm not supporting that. Like, this made me feel like a crap mom, by the way, but I'm not supporting that. Yeah, we do, like, we have a small equestrian holding here. So like, we're always fixing gates and doors and fences and things that require carpentry, and we have tools. But I mean, we're not doing the things that would support her to become excellent and to excel at that. We're not providing her with a coach or a tutor. There's no challenge for her. There's no room for her to go deeper. And all the help goes towards patching the weakness. But the strength, it starves. And in business, that's how most entrepreneurs operate. You're putting energy into what's broken, but ignoring what you're freaking brilliant at, or maybe what's working brilliantly in your business. Because so often the things that we know so well, the things that come easy to us, we overlook because we take them for granted. We don't even recognize that we're so good at it. So your strength might be in teaching or storytelling or visual thinking or systems building. It could be high touch delivery. You don't need to do more of everything. You need to do more of what works. So in May, I pivoted hard and I looked more into strategy and my creative direction, my zone of genius. I let go of what I should be doing and lean more into what lights me up. I lean more into creating offers that were more magnetic, more profitable, and more me. So here's a hack. If you double down on one strength this month, what would explode for you? What would be possible? That's freaking exciting to think through, right? So here's your homework. Write down 3 current dangers. Like, think through what's keeping you awake at night. What do you wake up worried about in the morning, or when you sit at your desk or you're talking to somebody about your business? What are you worried about? Then list 3 opportunities. What's newly possible if you stop playing small? My favorite question to ask about this is, what would you do if you weren't afraid? I love it. What would you do if you weren't afraid? Then name 3 strengths. What are you already great at, or where are you already great, but under leveraged? Don't overthink, just write, and you'll spot patterns instantly. This isn't a mindset trick, by the way. It's a strategic clarity on one page. And if you want to use it week to week, just journal it every week. I have a really great tool that could help with this, actually, which is my brand strategy checklist. If you've not downloaded it before, go to www.deirdremartin.ie/brand strategy checklist. It will map perfectly to this thinking, because it talks about messaging, positioning, offer focus, and all of the things that you need to dial in to have really solid brand foundations. So if you do identify a new opportunity or a new direction to go in, this will help you to make sure that your foundations are aligned so that the house isn't shaky later. Make sense? Okay, right. Now, I want to share with you a way where you can make the magic scale. And you're a service provider or a consultant or a coach. So next time you're with a client, instead of asking, what do you need help with today? Why don't you say, let's look at your current dangers, opportunities, and strengths? And for me, as a StoryBrand certified coach, one of the things that has come up quite a lot, because StoryBrand have introduced AI. If you've not heard about that, I would definitely recommend that you go and check it out, and I'll share the link in the show notes. But as a StoryBrand coach, one of the things that has come out since I've been a coach for nearly 4 years is that previously a lot of what the work I did was around copywriting and creating copy for my clients, whether it was website copy, just helping them with define their overall brand story, generate punchy taglines, their elevator pitches, whatever. Now there's AI that can help with that. And even though the AI is good and it'll get them so far, it's just like ChatGPT. It'll get you so far, but it won't put the final polish on it. So I had to look at that and think, how can I leverage this in a way? And for me, I never wanted StoryBrand and to do that copy stuff as to be my core business. I just never wanted that. And so I had set up a couple of years ago my Business Accelerator program. I have my LinkedIn Revenue Accelerator program. That's a digital course. And I have my Million Eyes Mastermind. So with those groups and the trainings that are included within them, that's about positioning me as more of a strategist rather than a coach. And so, yes, I coach people through all the things that I do, but I also mentor them in equal spades. I can help ask the questions so that they are or become more strategic in their lives and in their businesses and so on. So for you, if you're delivering something where you're currently exchanging time and for deliverables, so you're taking time to create and deliver something to a client, be it a service or whatever, and they're paying you directly for that, think through how could you maybe level up what your offer is to include more strategy and advisory services, because that's where the real money is going to be. And that's where my coaching programs and digital courses can help people beyond StoryBrand and the copy that you can now use StoryBrand AI to create. Yes, you might still need help to get it fine-tuned, and I'm here for that if that's what you need. But ultimately, people can do a lot of the heavy lifting themselves now. So if you're going to be with clients and you want to use this framework, I've got some prompts to help you with this. So you could ask questions like, what are you tolerating in your business right now? Because who wants to be tolerating anything, right? Or another one might be, what are you worried might break? Okay, because things can break easily. Or another one might be, what's shifting in your market that nobody's talking about yet? So you might feel something, know something. They might feel something, know something, but maybe people are just not talking about it. Here's another one. What's one thing you love doing but aren't making space for? Then what you do is you hold up a mirror to them and you say, when you hear yourself say that, what jumps out? What are you pretending not to know? What feels heavier than it should? And that's a great way to get people to reflect. These are all coaching questions. So it doesn't matter if you're not a qualified coach, you can still ask coaching questions and then elevate them, right? So if you resolve that danger, what would be freed up? Where's the opportunity? If you acted on that opportunity now, what might change in 30 days? What's possible? If you built your next offer around that strength, what would it look like? This is how you stop being a vendor and start being an invaluable strategist, right? And people pay for strategy. Just look at McKinsey. And here's a real world example of this. A client of mine used this DOS framework recently, and we did it together to identify, she built her business around delivery, when her genius, after so many years in delivery, is now in big picture brand strategy. So what she did was she restructured, she created a new offer and priced it so that it's 12 grand a year for 1 hour per month, right? So saleable offer, very easy to deliver, 1 hour per month. So no matter what's happening in her business, it's not built around her. Fantastic opportunity for her. And it's exactly what people need as in her ideal clients need that. So it's positioning her much more as a strategist. So if you want to help your clients like that, start with you. Do ask yourself those questions first and then lead them through it. Now, if this episode is touching a nerve, or you're maybe thinking, oh shit, there are a few more threats and risks out there than I've been thinking about, well, I want you to go and check out another episode. It's called How to Leverage Strategic Thinking for Success. So you'll find that wherever you're listening today, or you can go to deirdremartin.ie/blog, or just search Deirdre Martin Leverage Strategic Thinking Success. It'll come up. So it's a perfect companion to this, because DOS is the framework, but strategic thinking, that's the fuel. It's really thinking differently about the things that don't yet exist. And I mean, a prime example of this is Steve Jobs looking to put 1,000 songs in your pocket. What an incredible opportunity. And how did he do that? He leveraged the technology that they already were using in the Mac systems. Okay, so let's wrap up this episode. Uncertainty isn't the enemy, avoidance is. DOS gives you and your clients a lens to lead with clarity, and you already have strengths that are potentially underutilized, and they could be the key to your next level. So here's your bold move. Take 15 minutes today, write out your 3 current dangers, opportunities, and strengths. Then do the same for one client. And if you want help translating clarity on this for yourself and your business, well, then go and grab my brand strategy checklist, deirdremartin.ie/brand strategy checklist. It'll help you figure out what matters for where you're at in your business right now. And if this helped you at all, please share it with your business bestie. They're going to love it, because they're like, oh my gosh, you're thinking of me. Thank you so much. And like, what an incredible way to share something with a friend. And they might need a reset, they might need a boost, they might be worried, staying awake at night, and this just might prompt them to think a little bit differently. Lastly, just remember this: you're not here to survive. You're here to lead. So let's go. Until next time, keep mastering your business.